Let's bring on board. Remember, the government may actually looking at allowing FDI in rubber and coffee plantation sectors, and 100% FDI in rubber, coffee under consultation of the Commerce Ministry right now. Let's try and understand the implications of this particular move. C Vinayaraghavan, who's the president at Harrison's Malayalam, he joins us on the phone line right now. Mr. Vinayaraghavan, good morning. Now that the government is contemplating 100% FDI in rubber, what would it mean for the sector and Harrison's Malayalam per se?
Well, to be honest, that's the most welcome thing that could happen to the plantation industry. The plantation industry, particularly in South India, where most of coffee is grown, is a cash-starved business as it is. Whereas the growing companies are at being in the commodity business, it is really getting caught between the cost increases that's happening due to intensive labor that is required in these operations, vice versa the realizations. And FDI into plantations is something which would really bring in focus and bring given the much needed financial support for this sector, that is the plantations which is growing. The value-added part of it is different. I'm purely talking on the plantation part. The second, of course, is the coffee. When you say about coffee, the Indian coffee is unique in that it is only one which is grown under shade, and we don't have that much of exposure in the international market. And FDI and bringing in larger players into plantations at this point of time would give us a better exposure, which is very important as far as the industry is concerned at this point of time, particularly when all commodities are going through a very big churning happening and the price is really looking down, going south. So it is a welcome move. And the only concerns which was being raised is that the last time when FDI was allowed in tea, how much did it really happen is a big question mark, because in South, particularly, it has not really done anything great. There has been no big investments in the plantations in tea. So going by that cue, unless it is made attractive, some of those clauses which appeared in the initial FDI order in tea was not very attractive for the companies who are looking at investments, I suppose.
Okay, fair point. Right. What I wanted to understand, Mr. Vinayaraghavan, is are you already looking at tie-up, or are you in conversation with any of the foreign players already?
To be honest, no, not really, because we are not a major player as far as coffee is concerned. We are a very large player in rubber, We are the largest in rubber in India, to be honest. So keeping that as a cue, and if FDI is coming into rubber, we definitely would have to look at it. We have not had any discussions on that so far.
Rubber prices, we know, are at a multi-year low. And frankly, this is not the best of the time for the rubber cycle. So looking at what is happening to rubber prices, do you think the attractiveness for a foreign investor to invest into a rubber plantation business perhaps may be missing?
Yes, that may be a cue for them to not to really look at it at this point of time. But it's cyclic, I say, because rubber also went through a similar downturn during 2003 and then peaked to all-time peak. So it is one of those things which is what we talk about in the case of rubber. Yes, today with the supply-demand part of it and China, all what's happening in China, and China being a very large consumer of natural rubber, and there's some uncertainty about China's usage and consumption in the immediate years because of various anti-dumping rules also brought by various large product users like USA and things like that. Rubber per se at the moment, yes, it's in a very low ebb. The rubber price is in a very low ebb. But for an investment opportunity, yes, I think this is the right time to come in. And it's cyclic. I mean, I personally feel in another 3 years' time, we'll be talking something different. We never talked about it 2 years back. We never said about rubber prices being this low.
Right.
It just happened.
Right.
It's something like the oil. So it's just for the investor, he has to look at it on a little more longer term than what is happening today.
Yep, unpredictable as they may be. Mr. Vinayaraghavan, good chatting with you. Thank you so much. And we will speak once the move gets implemented by the government once again. Good chatting with you. 12% higher for Harrison's Malayalam, but China cracking yet again. It's almost a mirror image like yesterday. It's just that it's come in earlier than one would have anticipated. In just minutes, China has sunk a good 4% as we speak. It's a 5% crack that you're seeing for China again. I want to quickly